Wow. Hollywood night on Dancing with the Stars did not disappoint. Talk about drama.
No kidding.
Oh.
A double elimination this early in the season.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of.
Right. It definitely sets the tone for the rest of the season, that's for sure. So, let's dive into all the behind-the-scenes action, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, Phil. First up, the biggest shocker of the night. Tori Spelling and Anna Delvey gone.
I know. I did not see that coming. Did you?
I gotta be honest, I did not. I mean, yeah, they both had their, shaky moments on the dance floor.
Right.
But to see them go home this early is wild. What'd you think about how each of them handled the news?
Oh, totally different. Right.
Night and day.
Delvey, especially, seemed to take it hard. The Peoply.com article mentioned she was backstage in tears, apparently really upset about all the negative comments online.
Oh, brutal. I mean, talk about adding insult to injury, right? You're already getting the boot, and then to have to deal with all that online hate on top of it.
It makes you think, how much does social media play into all of this? These celebrities are putting themselves out there, and the court of public opinion can be brutal.
It's true, and let's be real, Delvey's past isn't exactly squeaky clean, so...
Exactly. It's like they're battling on two fronts, right? For the Mirror Bowl, obviously, but also for a chance to maybe rewrite their narratives or at least gain some public redemption.
And speaking of battling, sometimes against yourself, can we please talk about Joey Graciadei and the armpit Botox?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, how far would you go to stay sweat-free on the dance floor?
Right. I mean, it's hilarious, but also you kind of have to admire his commitment. It speaks to the pressure these contestants are under.
Oh, totally. It's not just about learning the steps. It's the hair, the makeup, the costumes, the judges, the audience.
And the constant scrutiny.
I mean, could you imagine? Although I have to say, his TikTok about the Botox was pretty funny.
It was. Gotta love someone who can laugh at themselves.
Okay, but on a completely different note, let's talk about Ilona Maher. Her dirty dancing routine. I mean, that lift. My jaw was on the floor.
I know. Incredible, right? Talk about defying expectations.
Seriously. You don't see that kind of strength every day, especially from a female dancer. It was inspiring, honestly.
And you know what else is interesting? It challenges that traditional image of what a female dancer should look like.
So true. Speaking of defying expectations, I have to say, Reginald VelJohnson's performance this week was incredibly moving.
It was. His connection to Bruce Willis just added this whole other layer of emotion to his diehard Paso Doble.
Right. It would have been easy to make it, all action hero, but to dedicate the dance to Bruce, especially during such a difficult time.
So touching. And it reminds you that beneath all the glitz and glamour, these are real people with real stories and emotions.
Totally. And sometimes those stories are deeply personal, like Dwight Howard altering his waltz to pay tribute to his family. I mean, talk about a tearjerker.
It's those genuine moments that really draw you in. It's not just a competition, it's a glimpse into their lives.
Absolutely. Okay, we have to talk about Brooks Nadar and Gleb Sevchenko. That chemistry, you could cut it with a knife.
Oh yeah, Bruno certainly picked up on it.
And did you catch that Peopleo.com tidbit about them kissing during rehearsals?
I did. It makes you wonder how much of their off-screen connection is translating into their performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we seeing what we want to see? Or is it actually that electric between them?
It's Dancing with the Stars, anything is possible. And, it's that extra layer of intrigue that you just don't get with other dance competitions.
It's true.
Speaking of intrigue, Chandler Kinney's rumba. Bold song choice, right? What Was I Made For? That's a lot to take on.
It is, especially for someone so young. To tackle a song about that kind of vulnerability, that's impressive.
Right. It really makes you think about how many of the contestants are channeling their own experiences into their dances. Like with Tori Spelling, you could tell that Greatest Showman theme was personal.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, with her family history in Hollywood, it felt like a full circle moment for her.
And she really leaned into that, dedicating the performance to her kids, talking about her own struggles with bullying. It added a whole other layer to it, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It wasn't just a dance, it was a statement.
Oh.
Which, speaking of, how do you think Anna Delvey's quick step measured up? The judges seemed to think she was holding back. Did you get that sense?
It's hard to say. I mean, she definitely has the potential to be a strong dancer.
Right.
But yeah, there was a tentativeness there.
Almost like she was unsure of herself.
Maybe a little.
It makes you wonder if the backlash she's been getting since joining the show is getting to her.
That's got to be tough, right? Learning these routines is already hard enough.
Right.
But then to do it with the whole world watching, judging, especially when your past is so public, that's a lot to handle.
It really makes you think about how we perceive these contestants, you know? Can you separate the person from the performance? Or does their past always color how you see them on that dance floor?
It's a good question. And it's something we all have to grapple with as viewers.
For sure. But okay, back to the performances themselves. There were some interesting critiques from the judges this week.
There were, weren't there?
Like with Reginald Vell Johnson. I thought his diehard Paso Doble was great. He really committed to the character. But the judges seemed to focus more on his footwork.
Well, that's the thing about Dancing with the Stars. It's a balancing act. You need the technical skill, obviously, but you also need the performance quality.
You have to sell it.
Exactly. You can have perfect technique, but if you don't connect with the audience, if you don't make them feel something, it's not going to matter. And the judges can always tell.
Totally. It's about finding that sweet spot where the technical skill meets that raw emotion, that connection with the audience. Which, speaking of this double elimination, it's a game changer. What do you think it means for the remaining dancers?
Yeah, no one's safe. It's anyone's game now, that's for sure. Were there any critiques from the judges this week that stood out to you? Like maybe a hint at who might be in trouble next week?
Well, Phaedra Parks gets some, constructive criticism. The judges love her energy, but they're looking for more consistency.
I see. It's like she has those moments where she really pops, you know?
Right, like her Jennifer Hudson number. But then it's like...
It fades.
Exactly. And I think the judges and the audience can feel that, you know?
It's like, is she going to bring it every week or not? We'll see, I guess. What about Eric Roberts? He's got to be feeling the pressure, right? Yeah. You could tell he was a little disappointed with his scores this week.
I mean, it's a whole new world for him, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant actor, but ballroom dancing's a whole other animal.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But you got to give him credit, though, to take on something so challenging at his age.
Exactly. It's inspiring. Right?
It really is. It's like, hey, it's never too late to, step outside your comfort zone and try something new. So as we wrap up this double elimination roller coaster, any last thoughts on the competition?
I think this early shakeup proves that no one is safe. The remaining dancers really need to bring their A game every single week. No more coasting on reputation alone.
So true. Any parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, it's not all about the fancy footwork.
Yeah.
It's about the journey. Those personal stories, the growth, the stumbles. That's what makes Dancing with the Stars so compelling.
So well said. It's about that human connection. So, on that note, we'll leave you with this. What is it about this show that keeps us coming back for more, season after season? Until next time, thanks for diving deep with us.